We have a DEX coming out in a couple weeks, and then we have a whole bunch of trading bots coming out on the coin node. So a lot of really
Oh,
promising.
wow. That's going to excite a very large base.
I think it will not only excite people, but hopefully make money, which is good too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
I'm in that boat. Looking forward to it.
yeah, I think we're nearing the point where the AI agents on Koi will be combining with the trading bots on Koi, and I can't wait to see it happen because I think that's going to be a pretty powerful overall outcome. I'm just going to quickly buzz a couple of our guests, make sure that they're getting into the Discord okay, but I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Welcome, welcome, guys. Good to see you here. How's it going?
Hey,
Happy
we're doing cameras now. I'm not dressed for that, so maybe next week.
Friday. That's okay. Pretty late there.
But we're
Just wanted to
also
say
just
hello. Um,
hey,
Saw a lot of questions this week about people being confused about tasks getting added to the node. Also, we're interested in DeFi. So we've got a bunch of updates for you today. We have two different trading bots that are coming to Koi that'll both be running as tasks, and also we have some pretty good news on the DEX front. We're going to get into that in just a moment. I think we'll probably start with Coinharbour here. Can we get a mic check from you guys? Say a quick hello.
Hello, hey, hi Al.
Hey, hey. And Jordan, are you here too?
Hey, how's
Hey.
everyone doing?
Welcome.
Welcome. Cool, guys. I want to go through a quick kind of rundown of what you guys are working on, because these have been pretty awesome projects that we've been curating for a little while, and I'm pretty excited to release them to the community and get some feedback from everyone here. I guess to kick things off, though, can you guys give a bit of background on yourselves, either Parth or Jordan?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll start. Oh, or do you want to go first, Perth? I really don't
Go on,
mind.
Jordan. Go on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Jordan Burgess. So I am currently building Tancho, and I'll get in a bit later why it is actually called Tancho, but a bit of background about myself. As self-taught developer, got pulled into the space when I was 16 years old by my math teacher, out of all people. Basically, always had a fascination with hardware. And when I was about 14, 15 years old, I started coding. And when I was 16, I got introduced to Bitcoin. And I found it just so fascinating, especially now with what Koii is building, especially with the Prometheus nodes. Just essentially just like never looked back and came across this project. And as I said, I absolutely fell in love with it. But besides that, my journey kind of went through an area of working on various things, from development to business development to working in the infrastructure space as well as the community space. Used to be one of the co-organizers of Eve Cape Town, just essentially sitting with developers, helping the community, and just teaching people how to code and get into it. And I've always been just like such a big proud person regarding to crypto, Web3. I know people always say you should never say crypto because it has such a bad rep, but I think it is what it's called. But yeah, that's just a bit of a background about me. Besides that, born and raised in South Africa, originally from the Western Cape, currently living more on the Helderberg side. And yeah, I'm just super happy to be and meet all of you guys, lovely faces or voices, I guess. And also just wanting to hear a bit more feedback of essentially what the communities are looking forward regarding to the decks. But yeah.
I love that you're fighting to take back the word crypto.
No, it has been a mission. It's been a mission. Even VCs I've met said, like, you don't say crypto. And I'm like, I'm going to say crypto.
Yeah, I've heard the exact same. So I'm glad you're out there doing that.
I think, guys, if DeFi is used properly, crypto is going to be not a buzzword or a dirty word, but a pretty exciting revolution. So we've been waiting for that for a long time in this industry. I think we maybe things got a little sidetracked and we all ended up in meme coin world for a while, but we're coming back to it for sure. I think personally, like, trading bots have a huge chance to unlock what can be done in the world, and I think probably it's a really big step towards Koii being a #1 ecosystem too. Not just from a financial standpoint, but also from like a social empowerment standpoint and giving people a chance. Parth, do you want to say a quick hello from the Coinharbour side?
Hi all. Firstly, 100% agreeing with Jordan being on the mission to start off crypto in India, especially. Talking about myself, I come from India. I'm born and brought up in India, and I did my undergraduate from IIT Madras, from India itself. So all my early career and college life has been into crypto as well as algo trading space. I've been an algorithmic developer since quite long now. I have developed a couple of strategies and worked with a couple of conferences and hackathons out there. So that is where the best mixture of my skill sets lied in, about algorithmic trading bots and in the crypto space. And that is where we are building Coinharbour, a place for algorithmic trading marketplace for people to come in and write their quant strategies, and for other people to come and invest in them.
And we're going to hear more about that shortly. But yeah, Coinharbour's been around for a while. You guys have been doing some really good work. Mike, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hi. So I'm Mike. I currently work on a number of delta hedging algorithms and ways to optimize vault yield in a number of ways, which lowers systemic risk across the board. Previously, engineer NASA and credit default swaps and financial services. So happy to get started. One of our best algorithms performs at like 20.53% net APY over time. So a component of what we do is take traditional assets like real world assets and put them on chain, and make sure that system works for everyone involved. So lots of opportunity here in the space.
Right on, and we're happy to have you guys. We got 2 trading bots and a DEX to talk about. This is the beginning of DeFi on Koii. We're hoping that this leads to a lot of TVL coming over to the Koii ecosystem. So if these trading bots work well, we're going to hopefully see a lot of nice tokens that everybody gets to earn. I think let's get into the trading bots first here. So Parth, do you want to give a bit of background on Coinharbour and maybe share your screen and show us something cool?
Sure. I'll just present my screen in the meanwhile.
Sure.
Do let me know if you guys can view it. Is it? Hello, am I audible?
Yep, you're good. It's coming in kind of slow for me, but is everybody else able to see it?
I'm not.
Yes.
We're all over the
Yeah.
world today. We've got Chris down in Southeast Asia. We got India, San Francisco for Mike and I, and then Jordan's in South Africa. So could be the problem. Parth, do you want to drop the Coinharbour website into the chat?
I'll just put that as well. Meanwhile, let me know if my slides are visible.
Still taking a while to come through. Classic Discord day.
Now maybe this would help. Mine says stream failed to start. Do I need to refresh, or will that automatically keep trying?
Mine also says stream failed to start, but it sounds like other people can see. Yeah, we got a handful of people coming in, so I'm going to watch from the live stream. Bob, can you, Bob and Miss, if you're listening to this, can you drop the live stream link for everybody, and we can all watch there instead? That might give us a nice clean view.
Yeah, what you guys should be seeing on the screen is a problem screen that, like, on one side, that there's a prompt on retail investors struggling to discover algorithmic trading strategies. On the other side, developers looking to solve a problem and to monetize the algorithm. Just a simple slide.
Love the real-time narration. Anybody who can't see these slides, pull up the YouTube link that we just got in the chat there. And if you open that one up, you should be able to see it. There's a little bit of delay, but it's not too bad.
Sure. Let me know once everyone is up on the YouTube link or the presented screen.
Yeah, I've got it up on my side, so I'm seeing you loud and clear. Good to go.
So yes, talking about Coinharbour, it's a DeFi algorithmic trading marketplace in short. So being a quant dev myself, like we had to lose our IP to the middleman infra firms, or like just only for the infra. And while we get only little bounties, they make huge profits out of our strategies. On the other hand, we as investors have very little access to these quant strategies, and if any, needs a relatively high whale check size for that. That is where the inspiration of problems comes in, where retail investors struggle to discover the strategies while developers lack a platform to create, test, and monetize their algorithms. So that is where Coinharbour comes in. It's a marketplace where retail investor can access proven algorithmic trading strategies, whereas developer can test, create, backtest it over years of data, and monetize their algorithmic profits. I'll just give a brief view of how things go from an investor perspective here. So anyone they just need to come up on the app. They need to sign in with their wallet, browse the top performing algorithm. As you can see in the slides, there are algorithms with their breakdowns and their past year metrics. You can simply go in, invest in any amount, start as low as $10, and then you need to pay only on profits, and we can withdraw at any time, anywhere. So that is the biggest barrier for investors to come in and invest in the quant strategies, because majority of them has been majority of them are controlled by hedge funds, I would say, or needs a relatively bigger check size for whales to come in for higher volatility algorithms. And as a developer, again, we give you platform, we give you infra for free so that you can come test your strategies. You can use our helper functions and available libraries. So you just need to code, backtest your algorithm. We give you Python libraries. You can backtest it till minute level of data. We have data from past 7 to 8 years of data, and with minute level accuracy with OHLCV data. So, and again with helper functions, which can again anytime any quant devs would be helpful. And the best selling point for a developer to come on our platform is to just know the fact that they own their algo IP and they own the commissions. So as and when the algorithm makes profit for investors in it, the fund creator or the quant strategy creator in itself makes profit out of it. So that is a bit about what Coinharbour is. Now, like how we need to integrate or migrate with Koii is to get our stack like backtesting and deployment container images on Koii. So you can see on left there is a screenshot where we can see the past year trades with all the aggregated Sharpe ratios, returns, fitness, drawdowns. All these are being run on a central server now, but again, being in DeFi, we want to go for truly decentralized platforms for compute, and that is what gets us to Koii. So the migration goes in steps like we first start with our static backtesting images on Koii, followed by our IPFS file systems and price storages. Then we start with APIs, node parallelization to parallelize n amount of containers running at once, and then go with the final live trading container deployments. So yes, that's it. That's what our vision is, to make algorithmic trading accessible to all investors in the market around the globe. Yeah.
Right on. And
Thank you.
yeah, so it's going to result in there being some exciting things for people to do with their coin nodes. Can you touch on that again? I think maybe it might help to explain back testing and what you're going to actually be doing on all the devices.
Sorry, I couldn't. I just missed it out. Can you please
Oh,
pardon?
sure. So it might help to explain a little bit more of what is the value of having coin nodes for this workload? What kind of stuff is actually going to be happening in the background on somebody's node?
Correct. So how backtesting works is we need some amount of compute strategy to backtest the trading strategies, and so again, being in the DeFi space, it's always better to have decentralized compute. So where we can have our Docker containers built on Koii Orca plan, we can deploy our containers on various Koii nodes where they can backtest their algorithms and get the final outputs, how the algorithm has been performing over the past years of data. That is, then we can deploy it on chain so that we don't need to depend on a centralized compute platform.
Right on. And does this mean that coin node operators might get a chance to run some algorithms themselves and try to make some money?
So on the distribution front, yes, if they would definitely be monetized on running those nodes on their system for compute, and that is one of the biggest incentive for any Koii node to have our backtesting engines computing on their nodes. Alongside, yes, when it goes to live testing engine as well on the actual nodes which are performing the live trades would be incentivized accordingly. Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about how node operators can expect to get paid for this? Is this going to be in Coinharbour token? Is there another token? Are we going to give out Koii rewards? How will that work?
So any amount of whatsoever amount of money is being invested, we take 1% of that native token as Coinharbour engine running fees, which a part of it would be definitely in the same native token would be given to the node operator there.
Awesome.
But yeah, on a later stage, maybe we can work with either Koii nodes or Coinharbour native tokens as a centralized or as a standard way of maybe could be done at a later point of time.
It seems like you've got some excited people in the chat here who are eager to hear more about this. We're going to get into a bit of a discussion about trading bots and some of the technology behind them in a sec. Mike, do you want to give us a bit of a background on yourself and talk about a bit of the trading strategies that you're going to be using CoinNotes for? Because it's a little bit similar, but I think that we have a lot to learn from each other here.
Yeah, of course. So starting out, the primary strategy that we're using is called a delta hedged Jupiter liquidity provider. Among others, there's strategies to optimize, say, a stablecoin yield over time, or a particular swap, like say BTC USD swap yield. So Jupiter liquidity provider is on Jupiter aggregator and Drift protocol. And so it's essentially a way to balance an order book in a way where there's technically as close to 0% hedged risk on a given strategy. So looking back a bit, this is a traditional long short strategy where one will long a particular asset that tends to be speculative in nature, and short an asset that is less speculative and more treasury like. A good example of a short here is BTC, Solana, or Ethereum. An example of a long is some sort of meme token such as Peanut that's risen quite substantially over a short period of time that has a high volatility premium. So statistically, this looks unfavorable at first to have some sort of neutral delta. But that's where compounding the differential between spot perpetual and liquidity is so important here. And then once one quantifies that difference between spot and liquidity, then you can implement like a series of validators and execute on that particular delta. So far, this has worked quite well. This is an implementation of the Gauntlet XYZ paper, Jupiter Hedged Jupiter Liquidity Protocol, where we use an open games reinforcement learning based approach. So essentially, there's a number of agents within this model, right? So there's an execution agent, a liquidation agent, among others, and so essentially, the liquidation agent essentially monitors liquidation preference for that given speculative asset. Where say for example, like a pricing agent continuously returns an acceptable range of where an optimal price target should be, along with KPIs such as value at risk, Sharpe ratio, a number of other things. So essentially, within this model is an agent to agent coordination layer that's within a gym environment, which enables us to have a higher predictive accuracy, because we run say 100,000 simulations of this single strategy, and agents are paid in rewards based on how well they select the parameters within Hedged Jupiter Liquidity Protocol. So if we think of this like a linear regression of how it's more of a game theory optimization problem, where there's a fixed set of parameters that we should we need to tune back and forth in order to have the proper output, meaning the highest Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio is mostly defined as the most risk-adjusted alpha per unit over time, right? So if we think of this like instead of a model tournament, this is an agent tournament for trading, where we already use successful predefined strategies. We just tune them with a simulation-based approach, and then essentially let the market decide the winners out of each agent's implementation.
Sounds extremely profitable, we hope. Using CoinNotes to backtest is definitely the theme here. I think there's a few questions in the audience. I wanted to open up to both of you actually, because we're talking about trading bots. A couple people asked the same question, which is, how does this perform in a down market? Are people going to lose their money? How does that work? Any reassurances that you can offer to convince people that they should put their tokens in your trading bots?
Yeah, so amazing question, actually. So macro-wise, this sort of strategy can still perform quite well, because at the end of the day, you're trying to. The point of this strategy is to have a zero delta between whatever like volatility adjusted premium is on the asset that's being long compared to the short. It is like a ratio, right? It is a comparable. And less so, okay, is BTC up, is BTC down? It's more so find an asset that has a similar long to short ratio in order to like have a successful yield, like successful like trade outcome.
So I had a slightly different question. I helped set up a crypto hedge fund last year, and the struggle wasn't up or down market. It was a static market. Like it was just no opportunity to make money when there wasn't much market movement. Um, is that a concern with this strategy as well?
I would not say it's much of a concern, because there's still some volume being traded. It's so stepping back a bit, it's just a source of the volume, right? So up until now, the latest asset within crypto that has the most volume is meme tokens, right? So I see companies like Kinetic pivoting entirely to just becoming an aggregator for meme tokens. So it's a matter of what component of the crypto market is in a downturn, and not relying too heavily on, say, Ethereum for year-over-year yield gains. A good comparable to this is like the 1970s, where, like, in the event of the 1970s, where like large cap stocks did not grow very well. So to look into other areas for growth, such as the energy markets in the 1970s, which performed a bit better than macro. So it certainly pivots between. So it certainly pivots between like what's doing good macro and in a certain micro area.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I'll say
Mhm.
anything to save me from the aneurysm of opening up a trading screen on KuCoin or something like that is much appreciated.
Aneurysm's an interesting choice of words, Chris.
Yeah.
I think Parth was about to jump in there. You want to go ahead?
About the last question, I was just wondering about rather flat market is not something which should be of a worry to hedge fund or a quant fund, because it depends upon the frequency of data which is being collected. So the strategies who work at second level or minutely level are more interested in the number of trades and volume in the market, whereas the strategies who work for 5 to 10 days of an average trades need a more volatile market to make money. So I think that is something which matters more as a trader.
And also a good example of how like one could be successful in, say, the energy trading and not be successful in macro, because in the energy trading you're essentially trying to understand like when there will be a disruption in price, right, or some sort of KPI, where a lot of the money in energy trading is made 3 to 4 times a year. There may not need to be a lot of volume for that to occur. But if we can see the crypto market just like the energy market, in some cases where, okay, there's a number of assets that have a consistent price over time, you should understand just when to have the short, right? Or like in energy, okay, you satellites to with like a phased array approach, calculate the oil storage volume and the number of tanks, and you can estimate like how much energy is being produced in the Gulf of Mexico, now called Gulf of America. Like that's a pretty relatively like simple distillation problem. Um,
Yes, we have lots more to get into on the trading bot side. I want to give Jordan a chance to talk because he's been in here for a while and waiting to tell us all about Tancho. Basically, want to highlight the fact that these trading bots on Koii will give you guys as node operators a chance to earn tokens and actually invest your money wisely. But also, there's a lot of value to be created from just using the nodes and the devices that we have for backtesting. So lots of ways to make money, lots of ways to get your Koii nodes even more active. Jordan, I think, has the exciting testing ground for us where we're going to get to deploy a lot of these bots and actually test them out locally inside the Koii ecosystem as well. Jordan, you want to give us a quick rundown on what you're working on?
Yeah. Yeah, so very happy to be here once again. But yeah, so Tancho. So Tancho is going to be mainly the main decks on Koii. Basically, just to kind of give a rundown. I've been building this now for a while, and to kind of give a due date to it, I'm looking at the 15th is the due date. So pretty much very soon, we should have something going on Koii. We should have a nice proper decks going. And just to kind of start on the topic of the DEX and the starting point and moving forward. So the DEX is originally being based on Radium, and if anyone wonders why Radium is because if you look at the Solana ecosystem and Radium as a whole, some of the biggest DeFi aggregators and DeFi exchanges use a Radium integration. And the way essentially Koii is set up, of course, with the easy migration from any Solana-based project, it just makes complete sense. Because I said, hey, why build like a basic auto open book DEX where you can just actually, have the standard activity that you can find anywhere, but why not make it something great, essentially, where there is things like automated market making, liquidity pools, and that has opened the direction of creating Tancho coin as well, or token to be more correct, actually. So essentially just based on Radium, and I know Radium has a love-hate relationship with a lot of people in the space. But if you look at the integration and what they are capable of doing, it's definitely the way forward. If you look at things like Jupiter, Jupiter, for example, uses Radium. Is it OpenDex as well? It's always a Radium integration. So yeah, it's basically taking Radium and just making it so much better than it initially is. So for context, sleeker, nicer UI, better liquidity pools, more custom-based fees, and that's the direction we're heading in. But yeah, I don't know if there's any questions regarding from the community standpoint of view, and if there's anything the community would like to see. Because currently, right now, just to kind of give you guys an idea, the due date is the 15th. And besides that, I do want to open the room for like lower swap fees compared to what is available on Radium. Create a token for Tancho. Just have a modern, cleaner, sleeker design. Something that people don't really need at the end of the day when it comes to, let's say, using TradingView when you want to see token pairs. I do want to implement a method of having live token pairs right there, and that is coming day one. So, yeah. I don't know if there's any questions regarding to it. I don't know if people even understand the name Tancho. I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but for those who don't know, Tancho is actually one of the most expensive koi fish in the world. And that's kind of the reason I went forward, seeing it, it's expensive, it's money. A DEX is where money flows. And, just like a koi pond, water flows and fish flow.
I like the fish flowing. So we're going to have this going live pretty soon. And at the same time, some of these trading bots also are Radium compatible. The other day, Mike and I were looking at Hummingbot, which is one of the top open source trading bots out there. And I spent yesterday getting a Radium integration hacked out for it. So we're going to hopefully have some trading volume happening on the node. Maybe we should get the community to post the trading pairs they'd like to see. Who's got a lot of tokens that wants to trade them on this DEX? Can we get some token tickers in the chat? Yeah, Morango's in. Cool.
Cool.
BTC Koii, nice. So we'll get some wrap BTC going. The mining pools that we're working on might help with that a little bit as well. So the background on Tancho is the $1 million koi fish. It's the most expensive koi fish. I dropped a link in here as well. What I'd like to see, I guess, is an understanding of how we can do this in a way where the DEX on Koi will be super active because of the trading bots on Koi. Do you guys have any thoughts on how we can do this really well? Obviously, we can go and suck the rest of these ecosystems dry because we have tons and tons and tons of nodes, so we can run a lot of trading bots. What does that look like for you guys? Anything exciting that we can share with the community? Parth and Mike, I'm looking at you guys because you're the trading bot bros.
Yeah, so there's actually great question. There's a number of ways to optimize this whole thing. So what's interesting about this like simulation based approach in that we can run like a given strategy that has a projected APY on like say 10 to 50,000 different runs, right? Within this chim environment, and we can productionize and continue to iterate and backtest on the strategies that work, right? So this is like an active learning like form of an implementation, and so therefore it'll actually be far more computationally favorable, right? Because all of this sits under a Monte Carlo simulation, right? So in practice, the easiest comparable to see this to is like a political like predicted forecast, right? So one might see just a odds forecast of say, will Donald Trump win the 2016 election? Yes or no. 59.7% yes, and the remaining to the other candidate of or in whatever proportion. And to generate that yes no forecast or bimodal forecast, it requires removing a whole host of variables that are completely irrelevant to the prediction model, and in doing so we only need to deploy successful runs to have far more favorable agent payouts than expected on a given coin node, right? And then execute that run again and again. So it's about being like computationally efficient and picking the battles to play here in order to be successful.
And hopefully getting everybody who's got a coin node to take all their tokens and trade them on the DEX.
Yes, that is the move.
That too. Chris, any questions from your side?
No questions. I'm just sitting back and appreciating that all of these projects are making a very complicated system simpler. That is what this space really needs the most, I think.
Definitely. Hopefully this means lots of Koi tokens trading around, and also lots of these tokens that we've had on the node for ages will start to get traded on the DEX. We saw some pretty excited people in the chat here who are stoked to start swapping. So that's going to be pretty awesome. We also have a whole bunch of tokens being bridged onto Koi, which is happening in parallel. So we're going to be having some more announcements on a number of those coming in the near future. This is all to make sure that anybody with a Koi node can try to be a little bit more financially aware and be able to actually trade and have access to all of these great tools. So we're bringing them to you guys. Any last words or shills or anywhere that people can follow you guys? Do you guys want to drop a Twitter handle into the chat so that the community can follow you?
Sure. Yeah, it's actually on my profile as well, but I'll drop it in the chat now. It's just Jordan Burgess. Just removed the E and the U. If the chat will open, sorry, I'm on my phone. My laptop crashed. That's why I've sadly left the stage for a while.
All good. Yeah, Discord seems to be a little bit difficult this morning. We're gonna have to boost the server again. If anybody's got some Nitro boost they're not using, drop it on the server. Maybe the video quality will work next week. Wow, apparently Vuk's the master trader here. 2K jupe.
Okay, I just dropped it over there. Yeah, if anyone wants to follow me, keep an eye out for the official Ton Show Twitter account. It'll be dropping pretty soon. That is the place.
Right on. Definitely more coming. Make sure to follow Mike, guys, as well, and follow Coinharbour. We're going to have a lot more updates coming here in the near future as we get some of these tools deployed. So hopefully you'll start seeing some DeFi tools deploying into the DEX or into the coin node. Lots more awesome stuff coming. Thanks, folks, for coming on and for telling us a little bit more about this. I'm really excited to see these deploying into the coin node.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. Yeah, much to come. Yeah, you guys can follow me at @MikeChase_ on Twitter. I always post up, and make sure to check out signallibrary.com for an intro to what's to come on quantitative investment strategies. Most of that's covered in TradFi, although we're expanding to DeFi rapidly and democratizing what strategies to offer to the community that have a high success rate. All right, like these are good strategies. These aren't just pulled from some book somewhere. These actually like work in production. So great to talk today, guys.
Thank you.
Back
Yeah,
tested,
great to
safe.
talk. Yeah. I mean, just added my handles and Coinharbour handles in the chat. Excited to chat anytime, anywhere. Looking forward to the community. Yeah.
Lots more to come. Thanks so much for coming on the town hall, guys, and we'll get you on some Twitter Spaces coming up so that the community can hear more. And hopefully we'll have some updates to share next week on any of the stuff as it gets deployed. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the Discord later on. Bye for now.
Thanks so much. Have a good weekend.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.